Hello, guys. Welcome to the Royalty. I'm your host, Big D, a.k.a. Derek F.
And I'm your other host, Chada, a.k.a. Hannah, a.k.a. Hannah Chada. And as you guys can see, things look a little different this week. We don't have our beloved sister, Tiffany. She's off doing Tiffany things. But we have our other beloved sister, Azah, here as a special guest on the Royalty. We're so excited to have you. We're here to break down all of your favorite reality TV shows that are ours too. So sit back, relax, grab a mug, and enjoy with Derek, Azah, and myself, the Jokers. Guys, I'm so excited.
I love how you say the Jokers when you're a 1 month Joker. Okay?
Listen, that was the best month of my life.
Not the best month of my life.
Yes, I loved bothering you guys and following you around the house. Like I lived for it.
You know, we appreciated these moments with you as well. We did. We loved them.
It definitely helped our game to go. Me and I was like, I don't know what she's doing, but she ain't working with us.
No, I genuinely enjoyed spending my time with you guys. You guys make me laugh. Azah and I would be dancing. Azah would help me with hair and show me how to do makeup. Big D, I would have you like crack my back, and production would call me in and be like, I don't think it's safe for Big D to put all his weight on your spine. Maybe we don't want to do that. He's already given you a concussion and a sprained wrist. And I was like, no, it's fine. I'm teaching him how to be a chiropractor. It's okay. It's okay.
I cannot.
Not you teaching. I can't. I didn't know I hurt your wrist. We'll have to get back to that. I thought I just.
Oh, yeah, you gave her a concussion and a wrist and a sprained wrist. You didn't see that? You didn't see her holding like this?
I had a cast, Big D, like a little, not a cast, but I had a little brace.
Yeah, maybe I'm sorry. It's all a blur to me. But, Azah, welcome to the Royalty. How are you, my love? It's so good to see you. We're so happy to have you here. This is just great. I just can't stop smiling. My cheeks are fucking hurting.
Oh my gosh, I see you looking like a little black Mr. Clean. Look at you. Just look at you. Either black Mr. Clean or like the genie in the Broadway version of Aladdin.
Oh my God!
Don't
say
that
because.
Yes.
So I dressed up. Hold on. Now that you said that, real quick story. I dressed up as Skeeter from Doug. You know, from the cartoon show. Hannah don't know because she wasn't even born. Okay, and I was dressed up as Blue Genie, and you know, my roommate Adam sent a picture of me to his mom, and his mom goes, "Oh my God. Was Derek on Broadway for Genie?" She thought that I really was on Broadway playing as the fucking Blue Genie. I was like, okay, got it. I can't. Oh, anyway, Azah, tell us what's been going on. What have you been up to? We have we haven't seen you in a minute. It's like you've been hiding. Who you hiding from? You owe some debt? You got a hit on you or something? What's going on, girl?
My dog did die. You know, maybe that's why you didn't see me around as much. Yeah. So you feel bad now, don't you?
We love Einstein. I loved Einstein.
You're such an asshole, You're such an asshole.
She just shared some personal information.
I just saw you in Canada for the premiere of BBCan. I've been in these streets. Don't tell me I haven't been out. Well, I haven't been out for the past 2 weeks. My dog died. That's why. Okay, and...
Well, can we just take a moment of silence for Einstein? We loved him.
He
lived a very long, fulfilling, healthy life.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, we're sending you love.
Did. And also, you really did take care of that dog because, you know, like I told you, your dog was deaf and blind, and you still took care of him. You know, a lot of owners would have been like pushing it to the side. You didn't. You gave him all the love and made sure he lived his best life. So, you know, I think the dog just lived his best life.
All 14 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been through all the ups and downs of my life. And so, you know, we ride together, we cry together. Bad boys for life. That was us.
Oh. Are you Will Smith? Or is Einstein Will Smith?
You know, I think actually I'm Martin Lawrence.
Oh,
Einstein was
sure.
Will Smith.
I think so. I think I have more of the Martin's comedic delivery.
Yeah,
Einstein gets by more in his looks. Yeah, but he grows into his acting skills as time goes along in his age. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Whatever works. They should have like a dog Oscars or like a dog award show.
I think so. I think Einstein would win the Oscars.
I actually love that. I'm just going to a whole new show called The Oscars.
The Oscars. Okay, Paramount Plus, are you listening? Well, speaking of Paramount Plus and reality shows, Oz, before we get back to catching up with you, I do want to dive in to BBCan, Survivor, and The Challenge with you guys, because a lot happened last week. Oz, have you been keeping up with BBCan?
You know, I used to keep up with BBCan by the Reddits, but here's my thing. I've been hearing it's been just an action-packed season. Like, people have been, like, leaving left and right. It really is sad that we don't have those live feeds, though.
Yes. Not having live feeds, it makes it harder for me to find myself invested in the season because there's only so much you can portray and showcase in 3 40-minute episodes when they're filming for 168 hours. And live feeds to me provide the context that we as Big Brother fans need to fully understand the nuances of the game. And we're not getting that. So I often find myself wondering, like, what are we missing here? Because if you just went off the edit from our season, a lot of things were misrepresented. Now, CBS, they did their best, but some of us are probably harder to edit than others. That's how I feel. So yeah, I'm kind of looking at BBCan 11 with a couple question marks, but also from what I have seen, it has been a good, chaotic season. But it hasn't been problematic at all. So I'm like, is this cast like ours, where they're genuinely unproblematic and not kumbaya, because they're definitely not kumbaya? Or is the edit hiding all of that and protecting people? I don't know.
So what crazy thing happened this week?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so last week was an Invisible HOH, which we did not cover that week on our podcast. We took a week off. But during the Invisible HOH, the same woman who won the first week won again. So within like a 3-week time period, I want to say, she had won HOH twice. And she ended up sending home this like quiet floater named Dan. And maybe that was best for her game because she wanted to fulfill that niche. Maybe she felt like, well, who else is going to take out Dan? So let me take out someone who no one else is looking at. That way, opposing sides of the house will continue to shoot at each other. I don't know how well it's going to pan out for her because now, fast forward, it seems like the house has kind of recalibrated and is shifting towards targeting her because she's the only floater left. But this last week, this guy named Ty won HOH. And I'm not the biggest fan of Ty. Big D is also not the biggest fan of Ty. Ty used to be in the military, so he's very deadpan, doesn't give a lot of emotion. But he's doing showmans with this girl named Claudia, and Ty often talks down to her, talks down to almost everyone in that house, is very like, no, I know exactly what's going on, and if you don't, you're stupid. Like, that's the air that he gives off. So I'm not his biggest fan as a player, but let's just get into the week. So Ty ends up winning the HOH. And Big D, what was the HOH comp again?
Let me tell you something. I can't remember exactly what the HOH comp is, but it was basically kind of like how our wall comp was. This was all about holding yourself up and trying to make sure you don't fall off of this pole, which, I mean, to be honest, if you were a stripper, you would do amazing on this. And lo and behold, of course, once again, which I felt so bad, I kind of got a little bit of PTSD. Also, I'm not going to lie. You know, Daniel is a mini Big D, you know, and he's very, you know, very entertaining. He has a really, really nice, genuine soul.
Is he also cuddly? So fluffy?
He is also cuddly. He's very round, and he's a very, very good time. And lo and behold, this is about holding your weight up. So unfortunately, there was nothing you can do, and he fell first, and I felt so bad because you could tell like he wanted to do well, but once again, you know how some of these comps are. They're not built for everybody, no matter what. And that's mentally and physically. Okay, so, lo and behold, The Crown. There's this alliance called The Crown, which has, like, 5 members. And I think the 5 members, if I'm correct, and please help me, Hannah, you have Daniel, who is the mini Big D. You have Kuzi, who's like the queen. You have
Anika.
Jonathan, who's sexy as hell. And then you have Anika. I'll talk about her a little later. And then you have Hope, who
our
Hope is like our favorite. If I can have him date you, Azah, he would be your king. He is perfect for you. Hope
he reminds me a lot of Christian Bergenberger from our season. He has like the same youthful spirit as him.
Yes, but also I feel like he's more a little bit like he's more awake of what's happening.
Is that the Ghanaian one?
Yes,
that's the Ghanaian one.
Oh, we love Hope.
Oh, he's very cute. He's very cute. Very beautiful name, Hope.
Right. I'm
just
mad.
Imagine Hope.
No, I am mad all over again. Okay. I am mad all over again that all they gave us was Xavier, Kyland, and Big D. Like, they didn't give us any hopes. They gave us Big D's delusions. They gave us Xavier's bald head. And they gave us Kyland's crazy self. I'm mad. I was denied an opportunity to find love.
You know what the crazy part is? Sidebar. It's funny how, like, no one was, like, attractive to me when we were in the Big Brother house. Maybe because I was in full game mode.
What about Frenchie and
then when I get out of
Kyland?
Big Brother house...
What are you talking about?
Relax.
You were in love with both of them.
If I couldn't get anything... I told you if it weren't for my parents, we would have done something. Because I was going to get penis somehow.
You and Frenchie?
And I would have did whatever I needed to do to get through the game. Yes.
Just sit back, turn around, and just let it happen.
Wait, are you talking about Frenchie or Big D?
Big D.
This whole time I thought you were talking about Frenchie.
That could do possible irreversible damage.
And I'm here for the damage. I need to be damaged. But I will say, me and Hannah came up, back to BBCan, me and Hannah did come up that if you want to understand how Ty is kind of like a mixture of Brent, Kylan, and who else did we say, Hannah?
I think we said Brent and Kai.
So
plus with like X's like rigidity.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And I will say this. And I guess
sounds like a horrible mix. Like what?
Listen, we're not the biggest.
Horrible.
We're not.
No, I just like combining those three separately. Those 3 personalities are lovely. Those 3 personalities together. That sounds horrendous.
In a game, horrendous. As in person, lovely if we don't, outside the game. But in the game, horrendous. So, lo and behold, all the members of the Crown have fallen, okay? And Ty ends up winning this HOH. And the problem with this is that Ty kind of is in the middle, which kind of, I guess, works out for him. He's kind of in the middle of the house. So Ty is dating this,
Claudia.
Let me try to be nice.
Claudia.
Yeah, he's dating Claudia. Let me give you this vision. She's blonde.
She is blonde.
Okay.
She's also really petite. She kind of...
Was Ty Greek?
No, Ty's black.
Polynesian?
He's black. Okay. Claudia is like 4... I think she said she's 4'9", 4'10", maybe 4'11". So she's really, really petite. She also has a baby face. And Ty was in the military. He's built. He's over 6 feet. So whenever I see them next to each other, just the visual is so like off to me. Because I feel as though he's the older brother or like the uncle. And she's like the niece. It really does look like a 12-year-old with a 30-something-year-old. But that's not the point. So to give you just a little bit of context, it's an interesting vision. We're just here to unpack the game. That is what we have committed to. Because what I'm not about to do is I'm not about to get myself caught up like I did during BB24. I'm strictly going to limit my commentary to people's games. And right now, not the biggest fan of Ty's game. Ty is a person, I don't know if we'd get along. Probably not, but let me keep that to myself. So, just to give you some context, during the Invisible HOH last week, Santina, remember I talked about how she won 2 HOHs within 3 weeks. So she puts up Ty and his little bestie, Dan, that floater. And Daniel C., the big guy, the mini big D, wins the veto and takes Ty off the block. But it was an invisible veto. So he was like, by the way, Ty, I won it. I'm going to use it on you to keep you in the house. I just need you to protect me moving forward and protect my people. So Ty goes, yeah, sure. Now that ended up helping Daniel out this week, but it did not end up helping the Crown out this week. They, in my opinion, should have just gotten rid of Ty then, because if you have someone who is the combination of Brent, Kyland, and Xavier, why wouldn't you get rid of them when you have the chance, when they're a sitting duck? So, fast forward to this week, Ty wins. He puts up this girl named Renee next to Hope, because Hope has the Ghanaian guy has this thing where he volunteers for the block every single week because he wants to compete, he wants to win, and he wants to make Canada proud. So it's gotten to the point where every HOH is like, well, Hope, you want to go on the block? And he's like, yes, I will bring honor to my country. Like,
see, he will bring honor to you, Azah, being your king.
Okay, but we can't keep volunteering ourselves for the block every single week. Every single week, he's like, I will make you proud. I will win the veto. And it's just like an understanding that they put him up and he won't go home because he volunteered himself for the block. Like, no one's going to vote him out the house. I don't know. True. I don't know what's happening there. Again, I think live feeds would give us more. That's working. Well, that's another thing. So since the beginning, Hope has been like, I miss my girlfriend so much. I want to go home. I'm not happy here. I just want to compete, win a couple vetoes, and then go home. And people are like, ooh, okay, we need to use that, and then we can send him home when it's his time. So, yes, you're right, Azah. I think the reverse psychology is working, but it's just funny. Because every week, the HOH is like, Hope, you want to go up? And he's like, sure. But Hope is on the block next to this law student named Renee. And Renee, she's basic, like she's a suburban gal, but she's very intuitive, she's perceptive, she's a law student, so she's definitely downplaying her intellectual strengths and making it seem like, oh, I'm just this Gen Z girl who's obsessed with TikTok and speaks in Gen Z slang, but there's a lot more to Renee.
She was basically a little bit like Hannah, trying to play up like, I'm like so young and I'm not smart and I'm like a fashion student. I'm a fashion student.
Yeah. What did you say, Oz?
Fashion merchandising.
Yes. Big D clocked my teeth from the jump. He was like, there is no way you work in fashion. Not with those
posts.
You
couldn't get past my gay ass. No, there was no way. I'm like, girl, you too pretty. What the hell is all this? And then like, you could put this with this, and then this would work. And I'm like, no.
I have my own
whatever
style.
You want to serve.
I have my own style. Let me live. Okay, so going back to BBCan, Renee is the target, and this girl named Shania, who has been, you would not know that Shania is on the season. I think Homegirl did not get a single confessional until she won this veto. And Ty, the HOH, even though he wanted Renee to go home, still picked Shania, Renee's best friend, to play in the veto because he was thinking, and I quote, well, if I pick Shania, that's going to tell her that I trust her enough to play for me. So she's not going to use the veto to take her best friend off the block. And just you watch. Like, I'm confident in my abilities to convince people. That would be like Big D on the block and Azah winning the veto and not using it just because Kylan tells her to. Or tells her not to. Like, what? That was the worst reasoning ever. Shania wins the veto, and I was like, oh, nice to meet you, Shania. Have not seen much of you before. But Shania's cool. She does not allow the house to strong-arm her into not using the veto. She uses the veto to save her best friend, and Ty is forced to nominate someone else from the Crown Alliance to sit next to Hope. So now the Crown will lose a number this week, and everyone is so devastated. It's Jonathan, the fisherman. He's a father. He's so pure and gentle. Like, everyone loves Jonathan. The whole house was in tears. So
Jonathan is just Jonathan, Azah. He's very
well, why won't the Crown vote against Hope?
Hope is part of the Crown.
He's a part of the Crown.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Hope is like the one that will put himself up on the block to protect. Well, he wants to, like, as Hannah said, do it for my country, and he wants to protect everybody. But Hope is a part of the Crown, so unfortunately, which sucks because there's nobody else for him to pick from. Because what's her name?
Santina was given.
What's the name?
So Shania won the veto.
Santina was.
Used it on Renee, so now those two are safe. Claudia is Ty's showman, so he's not going to throw up Claudia. And then Santina, Ty's very first target, was given safety by Canada. So, like, half the house was safe.
Yep.
And he quite literally didn't have any other options besides the Crown. So now Daniel C., using the invisible veto on him last week, is probably like, I messed up. But we'll see how it plays out. Oddly enough, the episode did not show why Jonathan was selected out of the Crown. It really didn't do a good job of giving us that background. And it also didn't show them campaigning. So I don't exactly know what Hope's points were to stay in the house versus Jonathan's points. Mm-hmm. Arissa, the host, was kind of just like, okay, and now we're going to get to the vote so we can do the HOH comp live. So I was confused as to why they kept Hope as opposed to Jonathan. Do you think it's maybe because Hope has proven himself more in competition, so they want to be able to use him as that sword moving forward against, you know, those three girls in Ty? What do you think?
I mean, as one who kind of isn't watching, doesn't know, isn't part of what's going on. My guesstimate is just Hope seems to be the perfect person that literally is a pawn. You know, he's someone who's willing to be the person in battle and things like that. And people with that, as soon as someone is able to prove their worth, and even in their worth of being a pawn, to an alliance, that can be something that's powerful for them, because something that's a long-term benefit for all of them, that they feel, well, I can definitely beat this person when it goes down the line. And those are the people that are much more easily to slip down the cracks. So, yeah, I mean, it'll put, even though Jonathan might be a great person and might be beloved by everyone else, at the same time, as a competitive threat, he might prove and show much more to anyone than Hope could. So they're like, okay, at the end of the day, this might be a good option to go home. It seems to be the safe bet that can keep people happy, especially if you're heading to a jury phase.
Well, what's interesting is they're in week 4, and they've already sent 2 people to jury because they had so many self-evictions. I just wanted to point that out. That's how chaotic this season is. But yeah. Azah, you're absolutely right. In an alliance, everyone... It's like an ecosystem within a larger ecosystem, and everyone has to have a role, and they have to understand that role. And no matter how active or passive you are, once you prove your worth, that's very invaluable. But I guess my question is, Hope has, as willing as he is to volunteer to go on the block, and as capable as he is in these comps, it is going to be harder to beat someone like him later on down the line, especially as the competitions get more physical, because he's a personal trainer, very athletic, and BBCan's comps this season have been physical, and I feel like they're only going to get even more so. So there's that. He's kind of unreliable. He goes off and does things on his own without consulting the group, and the group kind of has to do damage control for him and clean up for him. So there's that aspect.
So basically, Kylan. Basically, Kylan.
Maybe like a Kylan combined with a Christian. Like think Kylan's position in the cookout, but combined with like Christian's energy. So Christian as a person combined with Kylan as a player. Just a bit rogue, a bit unpredictable. But technically, there were only 4 votes that, there were only 4 votes that were needed to send someone home this week. And Santina was the swing vote. So you had 3 members of the Crown voting because 2 of them were on the block. And then you had like the 3 girls, Shania, Renee, Claudia. They wanted to keep Jonathan because they saw Jonathan as someone who was on the fringes of that Crown Alliance. So they didn't want to keep someone like Hope who was more embedded in that structure. That was smart for their game. With Santina and Jonathan were number 1 allies. So I'm confused as to why Santina voted Jonathan out of the house. Like, I get what you're saying about the Crown, Azah, but that's the vote that confused me. That is why I thought Jonathan was going to stay, because why wouldn't you vote to keep your number 1 in the house? Santina's not part of the Crown, so I don't understand why she voted with them. But again, the episode just didn't give us that. So I don't know what else we're missing here.
Okay. Yeah, that's about the no live feeds.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
context.
Challenging. Exactly. But that was BBCan. And then at the end of the episode, we got to see that Kuzi. Okay. So Kuzi, they have a lot of Africans this season. So Kuzi, one of her parents is from South Africa. The other one is from Zimbabwe. And then you had Amal, who I believe is Sudanese. And then you have Hope, who's Ghanaian. So the Africans are really representing this season. Shout out to all of them. 2 of them are still left in the house. This is week 5 of the game, right? Kuzi has won HOH twice. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to do this week. She's kind of like the Tiffany of the house, has really strong social connections to people, is pulling the strings behind the scenes, and people are aware of it. Yet they're just okay with it. No one wants to touch her. So I hope she doesn't have the same fate as Tiffany, where she goes out not early in the game, but at the beginning of the end. I hope she's able to, charge her way forward, because I'm rooting for her as a player. She's fun to watch. And, she's nice. South African. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I will say, I think that Anika... I think Anika is not going to be like a Hannah. I think Anika is going to go for Kuzi when she has a chance. That's just my forte. I think that's going to happen. Not now, but definitely later on. I
can see that. Cause
do you see that?
Within that trio, the Shady Bunch, Anika, Kuzi, and Daniel C., it seems like Daniel C. and Anika are aware that they're at the bottom of the totem pole, and Kuzi's the one calling the shots. And right now, it's okay with people. But Daniel C. and Anika might end up banding together and being like, we got to take out the queen. Like, it's the classic Julius Caesar with Brutus and Cassius. That I agree with you, Big D. I think that's what's going to end up happening. But listen, Anika, she's South Asian, just like me, so I'm rooting for her too. I got connections to everyone.
You got a lot to look for. You got the South Africans, you got the South Asians in the house. My goodness.
Yes.
She wants to be everywhere with her little ass. She want to be like, everyone's my family. I'm related to all of them.
Listen, I check off a lot of boxes. That's why I was put on Big Brother. Not for my personality.
Not that.
Gen Z.
Okay, so Gen Z, check. Has a TikTok and knows how to work it? Check. That was enough for them.
Fashion student?
Check. Okay, so that was BBCan.
I'm very happy that... Yes, that was BBCan. We're so happy that Kuzi won HOH. Azah, if you ever get some free time, look into it. If not, I completely...
African brothers and sisters on the show now. I'm going to catch up.
You got to.
That's what I'm saying, Azah.
I will make it a public service announcement. I have not been watching it, even though the fans know it because they say it in the comments all the time. But I actually watched it this week, and I was very entertained. And I was like, wow, I can see how This is entertaining. I'm here for it. And Kuzi is just, I'm obsessed with her. And I can see how people could be obsessed with her because she is like Tiffany, where fans, fall in love with them. And she's just, I don't know, she's a savage. Like, I mean, this girl is good. She's like using the bathroom at the right time when people are talking crap. It's like great. It's like she's always at the right place at the right time. So, but that's BBCan. Yeah. Okay. So, just to get back into it, we have Survivor. Azah, have you been watching Survivor? I know you you go to the Survivor events. Have you been keeping up with that?
I go to the events and I don't watch the show. I haven't been keeping up. I'm sorry, but I've been abridged about some things going on. Like, of course, like that first episode was just terrible. I mean, how can you literally be waiting your entire life and you have to go home because you get hit in the head? That was crazy. I felt so bad for homegirl. And then my girl Claire went home, and all the girls just going back to back to back to back. I do like. I believe his name is Daniel.
Danny?
Yes.
The firefighter?
Wait.
Danny? Yes.
Yeah.
How is he as a player? How's he as a player? Actually, I like him.
Yeah. We'll catch you up with everything. Of course, Josh went home last week, Azah, and he was, he really played a good game, I feel like, with the cards that he was dealt. Then you had, Jam, okay? He comes back, and he has to work on his social game. Let me tell you something. Jam is dodging the bullets of going home. And it's kind of a little bit like a Big D situation where it's like, no one's sending him home, okay? Don't know why, but they're not sending him home. But he comes back, and he really is kind of like, I have to work on my social game, okay? After this tribe, we have Matt, who I a.k.a. relate him to Derek X sometimes because of his personality. And Matt is kind of like happy because he didn't have a vote for 2 weeks. Like, he had to go on tribal 2 times without a vote. So he finally got his vote back after this week. And then, Hannah, what happens after that?
So, Jam, like you said, escaped by the skin of his teeth. It's a wake-up call that he's not as well connected as he thought, and he doesn't have as strong of a social game as he thought. Josh ends up going home. Matt finally gets his vote back. By the way, Azah, this season is full of advantages and disadvantages and twists, and it's really, and fake idols, it's incredibly difficult to keep up with because you don't know who has an idol, who has an advantage, what's fake, what's real. Mm-hmm. I don't like it at all. I think we need to strip the game of all that extra fluff and just go back to the basics and see how these people play when they're starved and malnourished and a weird social experiment. I'm just kind of like, why all the extra stuff that is very hard to explain and communicate to viewers in one 45-minute episode per week? But I digress. So they all get back to camp, and they're talking about Josh going home. Then the challenge starts almost immediately. And what's been happening is, even though they're at the merge, Jeff keeps splitting them up into 2 groups to win immunity as a team. But once you make it to the merge, it's supposed to be an individual game. So that defeats the purpose of making it to the merge. And also, so this week, only 12 people were left. So it was, 11 people were left. So it was a team of 5, and then Carson sat out and got to choose his team. So if when one team wins, only 5 people are in jeopardy of going home. That is a very different game from having 11 people to choose from to send home. So that right there throws me off. I don't like it. Big D, how did you feel about that twist?
I will say this. It definitely makes it very difficult. The fact that they have to go off of those, getting smaller. I will say this game is very keeping you on your toes. I will say that. You cannot sit there comfortable at all because whoever wins, now you're only voting with, whoever wins is safe because keep in mind, Jeff, they have to do this challenge, Azah, where basically they're holding the pole on their head with the ball at the end, and the goal is to keep the ball up. and not fall. Okay, which is very difficult because this pole is wobbly. I mean, this pole is made out of sticks. Okay, so they're sitting there, and lo and behold, people start dropping. Like literally, everyone starts dropping on the orange team at the time. Yep, it was the orange team at the time. And lo and behold, it comes down to, Franny and Brandon. Okay, Franny and Brandon are at the end. Jam falls. He cries because, of course, he was so close. He had a Big D moment, of course, where he's like, "Oh my God, I'm so close that I could finally win something," but it didn't happen for him. But he was close. He made it in third. But it comes down to Franny and also Brandon. Lo and behold, Brandon falls. Franny wins. Well, the orange team is safe plus Carson.
But what's interesting?
Okay.
What's interesting is Franny and Matt are in a showmance on Survivor where you haven't brushed your teeth or really washed yourself in a while. So anytime I see showmances on Survivor, I'm like, with that hot breath. Anyway, I hope they're doing well.
I heard somebody told me that in Survivor, after 6 or 7 days in your musk, everyone just becomes this type of dirty hot.
Really?
That's what he said. He said, the musk of the man and the musk of a woman becomes sexy.
Girl, do you remember what we went through as when we had to be have-nots?
But no, but that's not fair to us because that was we had sterile communities. I'm talking when you're in the musk of a man and musk of woman's musk and woman's scent. It's attractive. And it was, seeing them in their tan gloriousness, with their cheeks, with a bit of mud on the cheeks and tan and glorious, it aroused him.
Okay, well, it doesn't arouse me. That's for certain. Because I'm just thinking about their hot breath the whole time. But that's a point. What did you say?
Let me get back.
Just little goggling, some salt water. Goggle.
Oz, I love you.
Okay. And that is Azah's take on Survivor Musk.
And that is Survivor with Azah. How to survive in the wilderness with Azah.
With Musk. And then the must and the radiance of your skin and the dirt in your teeth and your cheeks and the armpit of your onions smelling from your armpits. It's amazing. The must.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Really
he said, no. He said, I'm sorry. We gotta run this back. Big D just said the armpits of your onions.
Anyway, so
this really is the Jokers. This is the Jokers.
Can you imagine? I mean, honestly, it's really kind of hot. You in the middle of the forest, you're starving, and you just you look up, and then the man above you, you look up and you smell him before you see him. But
who wants to smell
looking right down at you?
It's the breath for me, though. It's the breath.
The musk of the man.
No, that's not musk, though. That's hot breath. That's the gray film that just gathers on your tongue. Who wants to see that? Who wants to smell that? Who wants to hear that?
We're not talking about that. He hasn't opened his mouth. The musk of a man. The musk.
We're talking about the armpits of the onions, right?
Yeah.
So, Franny wins the competition, which means her whole team is safe, which means that Carson picked the right team, which was the orange team, is safe. But now that Franny is on the other team, keep in mind that her showman's Matt is on the other team. So now he's a little bit in trouble because if you look at the people that are left in the other team, there's about... I'm just going to do colors because it's just easier for me right now.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like thinking about who it is. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Hannah. But there's about 3 orange members, one
three from Ratu,
one green member.
Yes. Okay.
3 from Ratu.
1 from Soka and 1 from Tika.
Yep. Yes. So, lo and behold, they got to... they lost. Brandon is safe because of the fact that he came in first in his tribe. So, he was the last person standing in his tribe. So Brandon is safe.
So only 4 people
are for them.
Only 4 people are in jeopardy of going home. And this is the first week of the merge. That to me is a problem. Why are we playing a game as though there are only 4 people left when there should be 11 people to choose from, minus the person who wins immunity? And then also the other team that won immunity, when they go to tribal, they don't have a vote. They have to sit on the side in silence, almost like they're a jury, but they're all safe. So no power, but they were bestowed safety. Now, I have a question for you guys. If you're Franny, because she was the last person standing on her team, they were playing for food, which I get that they were all starving. She probably wanted to win food for her team. Like that would, maybe they would feel the need to repay her later at some later point in the game. I don't know. But if you're Franny and okay, I'm the last person standing on my team, so I'm safe no matter what, do you drop so that your showmance on the other team, your number 1 ally in the game, is also safe? That's what I would do, because I don't think she was that tightly aligned with anyone on her team. So what are you protecting them for? If anything, don't you want to keep your number 1 in the game?
Well, as Azah said, you want to keep your musts, but I'm not keeping hot breaths. So, no, I'm standing up there. It's a game.
No, but you're already safe. Like, if you have the option, if you're safe, and you can either protect 4 people that you aren't working that closely with, or 5 people, over protecting your number 1 ally in the game, why wouldn't you do that?
I would probably do the same thing that you did, Hannah, but only if I could do it convincingly. Like, I have had to, game-wise, kind of, decide not to do something because I know that I can't pull it off. So, like, would she have been convincing and saying, I can't hold on to this anymore, oh my God, and then fall out? And would they have immediately thought, hey, oh my goodness, you're going against this person, you're just doing it because you want to protect him, and then had her to be, someone to be considered in the next couple of weeks. She might have been overthinking and decided, you know what, I'm just gonna win. Do my best so that my team knows that, hey, like, I'm here for my team.
And you're probably right. I also think a lot of us are competitive in our own ways, and if we have the chance to win, we're not going to lose sight of that. But they're not going to play in these teams moving forward. So that's why I'm like they're starting next week. That's when the individual game is actually going to begin. So if that's the case, then why are you protecting people you aren't that close to? And yeah, maybe that was to gain a favor with each of them, but I'm not going to feel like I owe you my game just because I got food from you winning. So I don't know if she considered that. Or if she did and she just felt like you said, Oz, or was she couldn't pull it off.
Oh, sorry. Or she could have honestly really been starving, really wanted food. She could have been really starving and really wanted food. I mean, they'd actually be starving over there.
Yeah.
That is true.
You're right.
They do be starving.
They be for like 10 days without food. That's why their days are so short. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wait, you guys actually are starving? They're like, yeah, we're actually starving.
Lo and behold, as I like to say, they get back to their tribe, okay? Their different camps, okay? And lo and behold, the orange team get their reward, they get their food. They're so excited, and there's a little note at this picnic that they're at, and everyone's kind of like, all right, let's all first eat first, and then we'll open the note, okay? They open the note, and lo and behold, it says, hey, there's an advantage locked into a birdcage, because this season is the season of birdcage, okay? You would have thought Sandra Bullock was going to come out at some point and start reading the advantages to these players, okay? And, the advantage says, there is an advantage in the birdcage. You got to go search through all these keys. There's keys scattered all across the woods. They got to start running. So everybody literally reads the letter, which I've never seen anything like it, but everyone's here to play. They read the letter, look at each other, scatter. So everybody's running, trying to find this key. They're trying different keys into the bird cage. The bird cage ain't opening. Lo and behold, Heidi finds the key that's correct. She gets the advantage in front of Franny. And tell you the truth, it's not a secret anymore. So it's like you got to actually read it out to everybody because they're all like, Franny goes, hey, Heidi found it. So she has to read it out. And her advantage is that she can tell one player tonight at Tribal who she wants them to vote for. And they have to write down her that player's name. Okay? Yes. So we get to Tribal, and please, Hannah, jump in at any second. We get to Tribal, and the way that sitting there, Jeff's doing his.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to add a little preface. So before they get to Tribal, they're kind of like, okay, on the other team, it's 3 Ratu members, 1 Soka member, and 1 Tika member. Ratu is probably going to stay strong, so we can either use this to save Jam Jam, or we can use this advantage to save Matt. Okay, continue.
Thank you so much, Anna. So, we're at Tribal. Jeff's doing his normal thing, being very, asking questions that are kind of, very suspicious, which I wish he would stop doing. You could tell it's between Jam Jam and Matt, because keep in mind, as I mentioned before, there's 3 orange members that are safe. There's 1 orange member that's safe, and there's 2 more on that tribe. So they're going to probably vote together. And then you have 1 green, and you have 1 purple. So Matt and Jam Jam are kind of, at their expense at this point. So Matt gets very emotional. You could tell he doesn't want to leave his showmans. He's trying to plead his case why he should stay. Also they were thinking that Matt had a idol, but he doesn't, because Matt realized in the beginning of the episode, I'm so sorry I missed this part, that Brandon kind of gave up the person I thought that he was going to be working with, Danny, who you met, in Canada that we talked about, Azah. He gave it up that I think Danny gave you a fake idol, Matt. And I think Matt just put the pieces together with the information that Brandon was giving him. Mm-hmm. So back to Tribal. So lo and behold, we're going through the process of having this conversation. Jeff says the famous line, okay, it's time to vote. Heidi gets up. She goes, hi, Jeff, I have an advantage. They're all kind of looking at each other because the team that's up on Tribal don't know what this advantage is. So she says, I have the choice to pick someone to write a certain person's name down. She picks Lauren to write the person's name down. She picks Lauren to write down Jam Jam's name. Okay. Lauren also has an extra vote. So with her having an extra vote, she did ask exactly, okay, I have an extra vote. What do I do? I don't want her taking my extra vote. Is it does she take my extra vote, or does she take just my regular vote? And she just took her regular vote away. So at this point, we're kind of all sitting there, and Matt unfortunately goes home, and Jam Jam misses again. He doesn't go home for another Tribal. So now they have to go back. Franny is going to she's a wreck. You could tell she's going to be a wreck next episode. And
Lauren just said, Heidi, who won that control your vote advantage, said Jam Jam's name with the intention of sending Jam Jam home. And Jam Jam did not go home because Ratu, the 3 members on the tribe in Jeopardy, the 3... you know what I'm trying to say. Ratu wanted to target Matt. I think they were threatened by his close partnership with Franny. I think they wanted to split up those people. And I think they recognized that Jam Jam is a lot less well-connected than Matt is. And they were probably thinking okay, if those people on the safe tribe want to save Matt and want us to send Jam Jam home, then why are we doing their work for them? This, if anything, is just going to motivate us to keep Jam Jam in the game, someone who is on the fringes, someone who's not as embedded within the social structure of the 10 people left. So I think that was probably their angle, but Heidi now has a target on her back from Jam Jam because she said his name and he's still in the game. But the episode was very rushed at the end. We still didn't get the full picture. I was confused. Again, with all those extra votes and advantages and fake idols in play, I was I was overwhelmed. I stay overwhelmed during this season, but that is that's Survivor with Big D, Azah, and Hannah.
Oh,
what
Azah,
a challenge!
I know you love. Yes, I know you love the challenge, and I don't know if you've been keeping up with the challenge, but there's really not a lot to really talk about on this episode because the challenge was very weird. If I can kind of give my feedback on that. Yeah. We started out with, they're going to go into this sewer and they're going to count these flags and they're going to come up and untie their partner. It was a very solo type of challenge where your partner's tied up and then if you have a legend as a partner, your legend is tied up, and then as you being like a rookie to the legend, you're going into the sewer to count these flags, which made no sense to me.
You have to swim?
No, they did not have to swim, Azah.
It smelled horrible.
It just smelled horrible and had roaches, girl. I was very what the hell? But the roaches were on the wall. I guess they could have been on the ground. I don't fucking know what they were doing. This is I don't know. This was the most weirdest challenge I've ever seen in my life. I just feel like they're trying to think outside the box, and they don't need to think outside the box.
Yeah. I mean, there was some math involved. Huh?
There was some math involved.
Azah, what did you say?
Not anything that can give you dysentery.
Listen, I don't know. I really do not know what is in the tunnels of South Africa.
I don't know.
But there was some math involved, and that is what ended up costing Kaz and Jordan to lose the challenge. So Jordan and his partner Kaz, the winner of the Challenge UK, they end up in the bottom. So they're automatically sent into elimination. Now, who ended up winning? Again, it was... who ended up winning? Actually,
the people that won the challenge was Emily and Yes won. And let me just tell you the
from Australia.
About this. Emily didn't even do the math. Yes did the math all tied up and told her out loud quickly the math. He's really, really smart without a pen and piece of paper. He's tied up like this. She read the equation. He gave her the answer. And this wasn't simple math. This was difficult type of math. So they did the math. They win. We kind of get to when it's time to start voting people in. We kind of in a stalemate because, not a stalemate in general, but you could tell the U.S., half of the U.S. is working with the other half of the House, and the other U.S. is trying to get the whole U.S. to work together. And lo and behold, Kellyanne finds a way, because that's my girl. Kellyanne finds a way to get everyone to kind of turn on each other and get the votes to go their way. And Johnny and Justine end up going in to the elimination.
Okay. Just to give a bit more background, so all season, people have been saying Kellyanne and her partner's name, and Benha and Jody, they're the last team left from Argentina. They've been throwing them in week after week after week, or at least saying their names. So this week, Kellyanne was like, I'm tired of that. I don't want to be anyone's sitting duck. Their guinea pig, their lab rat. So she gathered all of the people on the bottom of their respective countries, their respective teams. And she was like, we have the majority right here. The U.S. is fractured. It's obvious. Why don't we nominate two of them so that Emily and Yes, the HOHs, the people who won the daily, have to choose between two people on the U.S. team. That way, we're either guaranteed to send Jordan home, who's won multiple seasons of the challenge, or we send home someone from Team USA, which is the only team that still has all four players left and has players like Bananas and Tori and Theo and who is the last U.S. legend?
But Justine was the one who ended up being thrown in.
Emily, well, because the House nominated Sarah and Theo and Justine and Bananas to verse Jordan and Kaz in elimination. But Emily and Sarah are best friends. And they knew that. They were like, okay, if we vote Sarah in, Emily is not choosing Sarah. Emily's going to throw in Bananas. So now we are guaranteed to send home Bananas or Jordan. That was a really, really, really smart move on Kellyanne's part, I must say. Oh, Casey and Ben, they're the other U.S. team. But U.S., a mess. And Justine and Bananas were not helped by anyone on the side. So on the sidelines, people were cheering for Jordan. People were trying to help out Jordan and Kaz. People on the side knew what Johnny and Justine were doing wrong. They had one mistake. They finished the challenge first, but they had one mistake. They had to put these barrels and stack them in like the exact same order and in the same orientation as the model that TJ showed them. So it was really just all about memory and brute strength. But Justine and Bananas, they finished it first, but they had the wrong Argentinian sun. The Argentinian sun that they put on their model had a frowny face, whereas the one in TJ's model had a smiley face. And everyone knew, but no one wanted to help out Bananas. So I just thought that was kind of funny because Bananas threw a temper tantrum. He was like, wait, so you guys knew? You guys knew? Kind of almost like entitled to be helped out.
Johnny's always
no one owes you anything.
Which is giving me very privilege.
Yeah, it's entitled. Like, no one's entitled to help you out.
Very privileged. Which I don't have a problem with Johnny. I don't like when he acts like that. It gets very like, come on, you've been in this game long enough. Like, don't be doing that, dude. Like, come on. And you're also getting paid more than everybody that's out there. So at the end of the day, you're going home with some money where everyone else is probably not going home with a lot.
But unfortunately, Justine got caught up because she was Johnny's partner. So people wanting to send
poor
Johnny
Justine.
home.
That's my girl. I love her.
Right. Justine is everything. She's such a strong competitor. I really like her as a person. I've had the privilege of meeting her a couple times. And she's always been kind, always very sincere. I was really sad. I was really, really sad to see her go. I feel like, well, who am I going to root for now? Kellyanne, honestly. Kellyanne and Danny.
Kellyanne, to be honest.
Danny.
Yeah, Kellyanne and Danny.
You know I love Danny.
I don't have a problem with Sarah, so I'm going to vote for Sarah. So.
I love Sarah.
I do too.
Team Challenge USA, so Danny and Sarah for me.
Sarah, Danny, and Kellyanne.
No, Ben. We're not voting for Ben this season. I'm sorry. I know you was your partner, and you saved him on that challenge. I actually just rewatched it recently, cracking the hell up. Because I love seeing the terror in your face when you were answering the questions. And you're like, hold on, TJ. Hold on.
Yes.
I love it. It was great to watch.
Well, of course, Oz is going to root for her fellow challenge people.
He hasn't done me wrong game-wise yet, but I heard that there was some things going on the show.
He's a bit shysty and sneaky this season, but that's par for the course. That's what we want to see. I don't want to see straightforward gameplay. I want to see people bringing that level of cutthroatedness and just like iciness to these games. That's what I love. But Sarah, Danny, and Kellyanne are carrying this season.
Carrying. All right. Well, with the challenge, hopefully next week it will be great. Azah, before we close out, Azah, please tell us, what you've been doing, what's going on, where can people follow you, what are you working on? Please give us a recap. We would love. Thank you for joining us, first of all, and just tell us.
This is fun. So what's going on with me? Well, I actually went back to work in November. I took an 8-month break where I wanted to focus on, trying out things myself. And that was terrifying. And I decided to start looking into work again. So I'm working again and doing everything on the side. I do appreciate the structure that work has given me. So I'm kind of taking my time to focus on getting myself back to building a good structure with everything outside of work, and then, taking a leap at another time. We're really excited. We have house shops again coming up this year. We're going to be doing 5 cities this year. So super excited about that. We're doing the premiere in New York and the finale in LA, but we have 3 new cities that we're hitting this year, brand new cities. So we're super excited about it. But one of them, definitely my hometown, Washington, DC, at a great new venue as well too. But yeah, so we have a lot of fun, exciting things we are having with house shops. We are also partnering with Give Kids the World on a really fun activity the day before our premiere that we're excited about. We'll be announcing that shortly. But you can follow me on my socials at Wonderful World of AZ on Instagram, Azah_Wasam on both Twitter and TikTok.
Azah, can we expect to get any cooking content from you in the near future?
Yes, you'll be seeing some cooking content in the next couple weeks as well too. I do cooking on my Instagram, but I'm actually building a separate Instagram page called House Chops by Oz, where I'll just be putting everything recipe wise and everything involving house chops.
Oz, I must say, you have inspired me to start cooking because I love and admire your love and admiration for cooking and feeding people and bringing people together over food and culture. So I cannot wait to see what you have in store on that Instagram.
That makes me so happy. Yeah.
Me too. And I definitely want to do another cooking again.
Yes, I'm going to get to it. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of effort, you know, coming up with recipes and making sure everything is perfect, you know. And I'm a perfectionist, so that's where it comes down to. But I'm going to be doing cooking with Oz again. I'll be bringing it back.
Yes, and I would love to do another cooking with you again where you yell at me and I just make whatever I'm trying to make, but it worked out. And I definitely want to do some jala rice and some lobster tail would be great.
Oh, that's going to make some
listen, guys, please make You're done. I will say this. This is a great episode of The Royalty. Azah, thank you so much for stepping in. We love you so much, and we can't wait to see what you're going to do in the future. Listen, the fans love you. I want more of Azah. I'm not feeling like I'm getting enough of Azah, so maybe in the next couple of weeks, I can't wait to see, because I know you're not a cold person. The weather's starting to warm up, so I know you'll start coming out, and I cannot wait. So, guys, remember to like and subscribe.
And comment.
Share with everyone. And comment. And we will see you guys. Obviously, we will see you guys soon. And Azah, thank you so much. Hannah, I love you. And that's The Royalty, everybody.
That's The Royalty. Brother and sister, I love you both. Oz, thank you for joining. And thank you for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. We love you guys.